What's up guys, Nando here with one more video, and we've got the final review of the Xperia XZ Premium. Now if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I like to do several different installments of a review. I like to talk about the battery life, I like to bring up things that you should be aware of, and I like to do my final review in likes and dislikes. That way you know straight up from me what I like, what I don't like. I don't try to sugarcoat anything because A, I'm not getting paid, A, this isn't sponsored, my channel's too damn small for any of that, and I don't care for people who do that anyway. So, if you're new, consider subscribing. Hopefully you find this video useful, and feel free to leave any questions in the comment section below. I try to get back to everyone as soon as I can. Now in a previous video, I talked about some things that I think everybody should consider when buying the Xperia XZ Premium. And I pretty much think that a lot of these things will probably translate over to the regular XZ. But I can't be positive because I haven't had a chance to play with the XZ, and I don't think I will. So I'm going to start off my video by saying this. Is this a really, really good device? Kind of. Is this a device that can compete with the likes of the Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, iPhone 7 Plus, iPhone 7, eventually the iPhone 8, whatever you want to call the next one, HTC U11, OnePlus, what is it, 5, we've got the Note 8 probably coming out soon. Is this a type of phone that can compete with those phones? Yes and no. When I say yes and no, I mean that price, features, the way the phone works, all that matters, of course. Now, in my time with this phone, I've used this phone for probably about 5 to 6 days now. I would be using this phone a lot longer. However, there's some things that have completely just dampened my excitement, things that I just can't live with. And I'm going to share that with you guys here in just a second. I'm going to start off by saying this. The build quality of this phone is pretty nice. I'm going to say pretty nice because check that out. Check out all the fingerprint. Look at that. And hey, there's me. But look at the fingerprint and smudges on this phone. If you're not constantly using a case, or if you're not constantly wiping this phone down, you're going to deal with that. And that's even worse than what I'm dealing with the HTC U11. I mean, this phone right here is a magnet in itself, but for some reason, this phone right here picks up magnets, picks up fingerprints, picks up smudges, picks up dirt, picks up lint way more than my HTC U11. I don't know why that is, but that's something you guys obviously need to know, and I don't like that. I hate that because it's a beautiful phone, but for the right person. The Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus is a beautiful phone, but does not pick up as much smudges, as many fingerprints. I guess just the different way of how they do their phone. I don't know, but I haven't had this problem with the Galaxy S8 Plus or the HTC U11. Second thing, the build quality on the phone is very nice. It's well built. You've got why do I keep saying magnets? You got metals on the bottom, metal on the top. This is solid. This feels good. You've got glass on the front and back of the phone. There goes my HTC U11. I apologize for that noise. But you've got plastic on the sides of this phone. And plastic on the side of this phone, I just don't understand. Because how do you go with glass front, glass back, metal top, metal bottom, and then plastic? Like, I just don't understand the justification. Especially when you're looking at this phone costing $799 at Amazon for the US version with no fingerprint scanner. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, if it has to do with antenna bands, if it has to do with reception, well, honestly, this phone sucks at that too. Now, I've got the international version right here. This is the one with the dual SIM. This is the one that has the fingerprint scanner ready to roll. I bought it on Amazon. I'll link it in the description below so you can take a look and see the reviews, and a lot of people generally like the phone. And what's great about getting the international model on Amazon is that you tend to save a lot of money. I saved about $150 getting the international model with a fingerprint scanner rather than going with the US version that's $799 and does not come with a fingerprint scanner. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm a T-Mobile user, GSM phone, no issues whatsoever with connecting to data. If you guys saw my previous video that I talked about things to consider, I mentioned how bad the Wi-Fi reception is, and I mentioned how bad GPS connection is. And that is still an issue. I have now factory reset this phone 3 times, which is super obnoxious because you got to re-download all your apps and go through that process. I don't like it. I don't think anyone does. That hasn't done anything. I have Googled issues solving problems. I have Googled it, and other people have had issues with it. I don't know if it's my unit. I don't know if it's just an Xperia XZ and XZ Premium issue. However, I don't know if Sony is going to address the issue. I don't know if Sony is going to send out an update because, you know what, those type of phone manufacturers, Sony, Samsung, things like that, they don't push out updates often, especially when you're buying a phone that's unlocked. If you're buying a phone that's through a carrier, you're going to get updates quicker. Not that quick, but quicker. If you buy a phone that's unlocked, good luck with that. And that simply is the biggest reason why I'm going to have to return this phone, because I honestly think it's a manufacturer defect. And if it's not, well, that's unacceptable. I mean, you know what I mean? We can't have Wi-Fi dropping. I cannot be watching YouTube or a Netflix video and then it just drop on me and I don't know, and there goes all my data. I can't be driving around needing to use GPS and then I just don't know where I am in regards to where the GPS location is. It makes no sense. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. If you guys have this phone and you don't have that issue, lucky you. I have those issues and I can't stand it. So do know that that is a huge bummer and single-handedly the biggest reason why I'm returning this phone. Now, things that I do like about this phone: the camera on this phone is very, very, very good. The front-facing camera on this phone is remarkable. It's fantastic. It's the best front-facing camera I've used on any phone. The 7 Plus, HTC U11, and the Galaxy S8 Plus recently. And this front-facing camera is incredible. Love it. So, so good. So good. The rear is very good, but it seems to be a little slow sometimes with focus. It seems to be a little slow sometimes when just trying to grab details. And when you snap the picture, it just seems like it takes an extra second too long to process the picture compared to the iPhone 7 Plus, the HTC U11, and even the Galaxy S8 Plus. I don't hate it. I like it, but it's not as good as the other phones that I just mentioned. The fingerprint scanner on this phone is on the right-hand side. It's where you have the power button. You click it and it unlocks. You click it and it unlocks. It's one of the best fingerprint scanners I've used, but with that being said, not everybody gets the phone with the fingerprint scanner because Sony decides that they want to charge $800 without a fingerprint scanner working to the United States, and then they wonder why their phones cannot compete, will not compete with the likes of the iPhone and the Galaxy S8 and future Galaxy phones in the United States. Internationally, Sony does well because they market it. Internationally, Sony does well because people know about it. In the United States, Sony does horrendous because no one knows, because only T-Mobile and Verizon have here or there released a phone, but there's no publicity, there's no marketing. So, you know, we're over rambling about this. You guys can YouTube many other people talking about this. It's so unfortunate. It makes no sense to me. With that being said, $800 for this phone, no. $650 for this phone like I paid for the international model, maybe, if everything worked on it. And that's a big if, because this is the first time I've had to deal with this. This is the first time I've had to deal with this. If I could say, you know what, I'll send this phone back, I'll get a new one, and then it's going to work. But I'm Googling it, and I'm looking at other people, and other people have had this issue. I can't run the risk of sending this back by spending another $650, $660 on Amazon and getting another one that's going to have the same exact issue. I was really looking forward to using this phone as, you know, remote play for my PS4 like I used to do with my other XZ5 Compact, XZ3. I've had the Z Ultra, that big old phablet back in the day. I've had a lot of Sony phones since I started to get into the whole Android market, and I've enjoyed them. I've enjoyed them a lot. But in regards to those phones, to this phone, Sony hasn't done a lot to change the phone. The bezels remain, the overall design of the phone remains, and take away the fact that this phone has a 4K screen that is not native. There's really nothing that this phone does that that trumps or surpasses any other phone out there. The speakers on this phone are fine. They're not great. The iPhone 7 Plus has much louder, deeper sounds than this phone. The freaking Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus has a speaker at the bottom of the phone that's louder than this phone that has 2 grills. So I don't understand that. I don't get that. It does have quick charge 3.0, but it's not that fast. It takes a while to charge up. The battery life on this phone, however, is very good. So there's that. but like I said, the design is outdated. The 4K panel only pushes 4K if the content you are viewing is in 4K. Otherwise, it runs natively at 1080. I'm assuming, obviously that was made for battery decisions and battery purposes, but I wish that they at least gave us the option to run this thing in 4K all the time. If we buy the phone, we want to use the phone how we want to use the phone. Samsung at least lets people choose, hey, do you care more about battery life? Then you can reduce your resolution. Do you care more about the looks? Well, you know what? Increase that resolution and then deal with the consequences. But we have that option. Yeah, Sony continues to do the whole dedicated camera shutter button here on the sign. But it is mushy. The buttons are a little mushy. So, it's almost like as if I find myself having to come up with excuses for liking this phone, or, when I'm using it and I'm telling someone about it, I have to be like, yeah, those bezels, the bezels are there to be symmetrical, or the bezels are there because the front-facing, speakers are fantastic, except they're not. And you shouldn't have to do that. You're spending hard-earned money. You're spending money that you expect to bring a lot of excitement and joy and functionality into your life, because that's what smartphones do for us these days. And this phone right here is not doing it. And that's a shame. It's a huge shame, because I want to love this phone. I do. But that's pretty much it, guys. Other than that, yeah, it comes with 4 GB of RAM, latest Snapdragon processor. Sony skin is pretty light. It doesn't lag. No issues there. Some redundant apps, but whatever. You get that with a lot of OEMs these days, so it's not just a Sony thing. I'm not going to bash them for that. And that's really all that stands out. I really, really wish that they had gone with metal on the sign instead of plastic. It's just off of principle that I feel like they cheapened out. Oh, by the way, if you get the dual SIM version, which is most likely going to be the international version, when you pull this out right here, this tray is extremely, extremely flimsy. And Sony continues to do this way of putting in SIM cards. And here, well, I guess I took it out with it on, so there goes that. Here on the right-hand side is where your first SIM card goes in. It's on the right-hand side here. And here is where you put your second SIM card or your micro SD card. Just letting you guys know that, because it's not very clear, and I struggled a good bit to get my SIM card in there. And I don't know why they do it the way they do. I don't know why they can't just have, like, a basic little flap. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, know that. And that's really all there is to it, guys. Feels good in hand. It doesn't feel cheap. Take away the plastic sides. I don't know. If you guys have the XZ or the XZ Premium, or how Sony likes to say the XZ, let me know in the comment section below why you like it. Do you have Wi-Fi issues? Do you have GPS issues? What made you want to buy it? Because I knew why, and I know why I wanted to buy this phone. I wanted to buy this phone because this is different. Not everybody has it. I wanted to stand out a little bit. I wanted to use it with my PS4. I wanted to have really solid pictures. But I'm not getting that. I'm not getting those things. And if I were to get those things, and then maybe I can put up with the fact that these bezels are ridiculous. But I cannot put up with Wi-Fi connection drops, and I cannot put up with GPS issues. So please subscribe and thumbs up this video if you haven't already. It was Nando, out with this video. On to the next. Peace. Salute. And stay geeky, guys, like always. I'll catch you in the next one.